Hello.
Hi, guys. I know it's been about 3 weeks since we've done this.
Oops.
About-ish.
Yeah, 3, I think.
Sorry, we had a lot of stuff. Sundays are hard.
Yeah, they are.
Sundays are hard. So we're trying to figure a better day to do this.
Yeah.
A better time, because Sunday it's just hard. And Sunday afternoons, we all like to go and eat and drink. Mm-hmm. And so podcast is not what we're wanting to do.
It's our family day.
Yeah, it's our family
day.
day. Yeah, we just go and we go and enjoy each other's company.
For sure.
And especially now that we can.
Yes.
We're vaccinated.
Yes.
Just so everybody knows, we're vaccinated. So we have not had a podcast discussion since Sophia. Since before Sophia.
That's right.
Sophia was, that was a mind-blowing, beautiful, it was phenomenal. And it was, just do a little brief recap there. Hey, Hope, how are you doing?
Hey, Hope, everybody. Let's see. Well, it's been a few weeks, but so what happened was a good friend of mine messaged me out of the blue one night and was like, tell me about Sophia. Mm-hmm. And I thought, Golden Girl, she's like my favorite Golden Girl, And but then she started talking to me about the Greek word Sophia, and she sent me some articles, and I started doing I nerded out on the word research that I like to do in different languages, and Sophia is a Greek word meaning wisdom, and it's translated the Hebrew word in the Old Testament. Your picture, I'm sure that you saw this when the Hebrew word is number 2 on your list, Chokhmah. That's Sophia in Hebrew. Yes. That's wisdom in the all throughout the Old Testament, but in Proverbs in particular, a lot of those wisdom passages are about a feminine, divine person. I don't know, entity,
energy,
being, aspect of Elohim is where we went with the discussion on that Sunday. So. That's Sophia. That's how I got started. That's Chokhmah. So then I started reading. I pulled from what I remembered. You preached a sermon a very long time ago. Sorry, this is taking a long time. Y'all know I can't tell a short story.
No, please tell me.
You preached a sermon a very long time ago. God is a they, or God is they, them, there. Mm-hmm. This was years ago. And you pulled from Genesis, so I did the same thing where it says Elohim created Adam, which means plural God, plural divinity. Every aspect of God created every aspect of humanity.
Yes.
Every gender of humanity, every. And so we drew the parallel and understood that creation, humanity, originally possibly in the Hebrew, some of the Hebrew schools of thought, there was no gender division in the beginning.
Right.
It was intersexed. It was all. And so creation, humanity is a reflection of God. Any way we want to understand that or look at it. Every gender, every orientation, every ethnicity, every eye color. I think in the discussion I even said every dimple, every smile. And I looked at Stella and said every curl. Yeah. Every part of every person we could ever meet is holy. It's a reflection of God in some way, and to me, if we can understand that, it changes the way that we treat people. It changes the way that we treat ourselves. That and I think at the end I said challenge is to either take a Sunday selfie or look in a mirror when you get home and behold Elohim, acknowledge God, or every time we meet a person, every time we have an interaction with any person, acknowledge an image of Elohim.
Yes.
So anyway, that was where the wisdom came from, the feminine, but not necessarily that. I think it's just that any gender or no gender or every gender is divine. So anyway, that's where, go ahead.
Right, and what I didn't say, because there's a lot. Each of these sephirotes here, and that was the sermon from today. This is the Kabbalah tree of life. Number 2 is, you said it right, I said it wrong. Chokhmah, sure. That's correct. Is represented by Adam.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm. And so in order to get to this place on this tree of life, you have to let go of your ego.
Yes.
You have to operate in the Spirit of Christ. Okay, that's the anointing, that's the Spirit, that's God's Spirit, that's the Spirit of Christ. And you have to enlarge your territory.
That was like a map of every sermon that we've...
Every sermon. You should have seen me when I was going through this week. I was like... It's like I was getting struck by lightning. I mean, and yes, and the enlarge your territory in order to gain understanding and wisdom, right? Whoa. Just whoa. And metanoia. Go beyond your mind.
Jabez.
All of it.
Yeah.
It's all of it. And, it's true when Christ said, seek and you will find. And that's basically, and it's just been dropping on. We're like, oh, hi, more of that, please.
Thank you. Yes.
More of that, please.
Yeah.
It's really been incredible. Incredible. And it started this year. Basically, we were like, we're going to go find the Christ outside of doctrine and dogma and books and we really and boxes. And that's when we really enlarged our territory, and we have really seen beyond the beyond.
Yeah. And one place that also for me went on that journey and intended to share in the discussion if I didn't is, I think I went with the title Unmanned.
Yes.
Removing that limitation from God. And I think that's where we've gone with seeking Christ everywhere, not just in the expected Jesus. Places. Yeah. So I have challenged myself to not only say Father or He or Him, but she, her, they. Right. And so, it's a broader understanding, and Spirit will be as big as we want them to be.
Right.
As big as we will allow them to be.
And that's kind of why, hey, honey, that is kind of why I say Spirit and not God, because the patriarchy has so molded and kind of formed God as a male. And so that was that's Spirit encompasses everything to me. Yeah. So that's why I use that term more than God.
Now, after Unmanned, because that was the first Sunday that we didn't revisit with a podcast, where did you go right after that? Was it Jabez, or was that before? I've lost track of the order of where we went. I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
I don't remember.
I was
y'all,
trying to...
Y'all remember?
Let's go look at
because it's been kind of crazy. Was it Jonah?
It may have been Jonah. I can't remember.
I'm gonna read it, and it was Jonah. I think it was Jonah.
Okay.
The place of understanding.
Yeah.
Unafraid?
No, it was understanding.
Understanding.
It was wisdom and understanding. Oh my!
This is the entire path of the.
And y'all didn't even know you were going on the path.
We didn't know this was
Oh my!
We had no idea.
Oh my! And Bina, I'm having a moment here. Bina understanding is Eve, and it is mother. And we talked about Jonah and the womb. We talked about the belly. We talked about the belly because the word understanding comes from intestines. Yes, remember we talked about that? And that's the belly, the womb. And I was the wilderness, y'all, is that place, that belly. And look, if you look at this as chakras, which I'm going to talk a little bit about, number 9, where the ego is, this is the shadow. This is the shadow work. This is Egypt, is where the belly is. That's going to be the sacral.
Yep. Yeah. That's profound.
Yes.
I don't even know what to say.
It's like you gotta sit with it for a while.
Yeah.
I don't know, that's what I've found a lot with stuff that y'all have, I guess, taught me is I have to sit with it for a good minute before it actually sinks in. You know what I mean? That's just me as a person.
Same. I mean, it's yesterday I was driving to get wine.
Yes.
Because it was Jesus' first miracle. And I was sitting, y'all, this is going to sound cray, like crazy. And I was sitting there at the red light, and the sun was like this. And so I'm going, I can't, it's so bright you can't see the red light. And of course I don't have my sunglasses because I never have my sunglasses. And I was trying to blink my eyes and trying to get, so I could see the light, so I could tell if it turned green or not. And as I'm blinking, the sun, you kind of capture snapshots. And when you close your eyes, you can see it. I swear, y'all, it was 27. It was a number. And I was like, that's odd. It's just not 27. That is really odd, And so I drove through the light or whatever. Got turned on to 27th Avenue because that's where the liquor store is. And there was a something, dumpster top or something, had 27, 27, 27 on it. I was like, okay, all right, I see. Okay, 27. And so I do that all the time. I'm like always doing random stuff like that.
That's cool.
And I looked up 27, y'all, and this is so funny. The 27th word in the Bible is deep.
No way. No way.
It is. Yeah.
When was this?
Yesterday.
That was the 27th, wasn't it?
Yes.
It was.
It was. Yesterday was the 27th.
That's weird.
That is weird.
That is very strange.
Thank you, universe.
More of that, please.
More of that, please.
More of that, please.
Yes.
Wow. And it's the void. Like, that's where it talks about the void being deep in Genesis, is what it talks about, the void being deep. And in this tree of life, and I'll go more into this is the void. And I'm going to talk about this next week, too. This is the unalome, and this is chaos, the bottom, right? And that's what it talks about in Genesis, chaos, the void, just before creation, right? So, yeah.
Look like.
The unalome, and I'm going to talk just briefly about it next week. I'm going to show the similarities. The unalome, I'm not sure what the origin is, if it's Buddhist or if it's Hindu. I'm not finding the original, source of it. So I'm seeing it on both, on both schools of thought. So, yeah. And I don't know if you can see, but that looks exactly like this to me.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a path to enlightenment, basically. And this is the twists and turns, right? The errors learned, right?
It looks like your intestines in the human.
It
I know.
does. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it does. Yeah, it
like
kind of
all that
does.
twisting and turning your intestines.
Yeah,
are.
it does. Yeah, and then it's got human maturation, and then nirvana, enlightenment.
That's awesome.
So, it's really interesting. It's very interesting how it's all connected.
All is one.
It's amazing. Like, it's really amazing. And
It's really amazing to me that like people in different areas of the world and different spiritual paths all came to the same conclusion. Like
Yes.
that is the miracle.
and that is
Amen.
that is what Spirit said to me years ago.
Absolutely.
Because I was that hardline religious Christian that, everybody else is going to hell because you're not doing it right.
Right.
I was. And if you gay, you burning.
Yeah.
Gotta pray the gay away. Boy, did God call, oh my. You talking about Moses, right? I'm standing in the choir loft back at Christ Church, I'm just gonna say it, in Laurel, Mississippi. Pastor Brandiilyne, Dying to Live Ministries, trying to get, addicts and alcoholics better and gay people straight. Yeah,
Felt weird too.
I had just
That did feel strange.
and so I'm singing this song. We're having choir practice, and I'm singing this song. I'll say yes, Lord. It's by Brooklyn Tabernacle, and all the song says is, "I'll say yes, Lord. I'll say yes. Where you lead me, I will go. I'll say yes, Lord. I'll say yes." So I'm singing. It's just a repetitive thing. I'm singing this, and literally, I'm telling you, God is speaking directly to me and showing me. And God says, I want you to reconcile my people back to me. They have been exiled. And it's basically what he said to Moses. Go get my people out of Egypt. And it was, God was speaking directly about the LGBT community. And I'm going, I'll say yes, Lord. I'll say yes. Where you lead me, I will go. I'll say yes, Lord. I'll say yes. And it was like 2 years before. And I even said to you, I said, you're going to have to move me because I don't know how to go. I don't know what to do. Oh, well, let me send,
Let me just uproot your entire life.
Let me send the plagues into your life. Yes.
Send your baseball bat.
Yes. And so, and that's kind of where my wilderness, happened. Yeah. But interesting. And here we are. I completely lost track of what I was trying to say.
It's okay. You want me to scroll and see if we have comments?
Yes.
or-
Do we have comments, y'all? But this journey, gut feeling, I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Donovan.
Hi, Donovan.
I don't see anything, so if we've missed you, please repost it. I don't see much.
So, and I want to say this, and I'm going to say this here, and I'll probably revisit it, hopefully, in one of the sermons where I'm connecting everything. What about Jairus? Jairus' name meaning one whom God enlightens. Mm-hmm. And the little girl being his awakening.
Yeah.
So it's the same. It's the same.
He gave birth to her, so to speak.
Just like Moses gave birth to Joshua. Mm-hmm. Moses stayed in the wilderness. Joshua went into the promised land. Right? Joshua means Yeshua.
Yeah.
Joshua is Yeshua. That's the same word. Yeshua is Jesus.
Yep.
Right? Moses means drawn out.
Wow.
Drawn out.
Mm-hmm.
Just lengthening, just
Pulled out. Yes. Mm-hmm. It does. And, Moses died in the wilderness. But transformed. His transformed self. I think, if we're looking at this metaphorically, I think Joshua is 100% Moses' transformed, enlightened self. Mm-hmm. Going into the promised land. That's what I think. I think that's what the picture is. I think it is
it the combination
the Christ.
Moses and what's his face? His brother?
It's right in between.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's Moses and Aaron.
Wow.
Ascending to the Christ.
Yeah.
Yeshua.
Yep. That's good.
That's what I think. Yep. I know I'm holding this up. Moses, Aaron, the Christ, ego, right here. Burning bush, right here. Thorns, earth, right here.
I thought about something when you were speaking. At one point, you talked about walking in circles, and that's what we do until we recognize the pattern and ascend or do something different. And I don't know if this is really the way you meant it or the way that we could understand it, but y'all know my mind just kind of understands things its own little different way sometimes.
That's all right.
But I was thinking about the spine and the chakras, like you were talking about, and the Kundalini awakening being. So we go from just a circle to the serpent actually doing the spiral, rather than just a circle. It's when you recognize the pattern and make a change. It becomes it's still circular, but it's a movement.
But it's raising up. Yeah, absolutely. Ooh, that's cool.
Well,
yeah.
And there's a verse in the Tao that
kind of like
that talks
Chokurei.
about. And I
That's a spiral from above.
That's
yeah.
right.
Sorry.
There's just a verse in the Tao that talks about that we can't know. We can never know enough. But we have to know when enough is enough. And that makes it sound like we're gonna wander around in circles a lot, but there's I don't know, it's like you're saying a circle is never ending. There's no opening to it, so we have to bust away the barriers. Do you see what I'm saying?
Well, if we're walking in a circle, we're starting back where we're ending where we started. Basically, we're in the same. But if we're walking upward in a spiral, but it's still circular motion, it is ascension, and that is this circular. Yes, and that's exactly what this means. It means circular motion. That's what this means when I said circles. It's circular motion, and Aaron is glory, is pattern recognition. So it's cool. Yes, and it's. Yeah.
Your ascension will never end.
Mm-mm.
No, absolutely not. And someone said, "Hey, Ginger."
Sorry.
Yes, because the Bible does speak metaphorically. Absolutely,
It was
absolutely. It's It's a metaphor. Everything in the Bible is a metaphor. And when you read it too literal, when you read it literal, you're sending people to hell.
Yeah, there's the limits. That's the,
Yeah, and it's limited when you read it literal. Absolutely. And the metaphors break down that when you read it metaphorically, it is really infinite.
Yeah. Deep.
It is truly infinite.
Someone said I'm interested in the planets. I don't know if you...
The planet, and I will talk about the planets. Okay. Absolutely, I will, because it's very important. The planets that are associated with these Sephiroth, it's very important. Earth is the bottom one. That's Earth. Okay. The ego one is the moon, which is interesting because there's two sides to the moon, and it talks about the dark side here, the darkness. Yeah. So that's Egypt.
I almost wore my Pink Floyd shirt.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, cool. But I can't remember the rest of them. I will definitely talk. I'll bring that up maybe next week or something, or maybe in the podcast.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, totally. But yeah, that's where we are with this. Like, we went to Moses, and then were you gonna say something?
It was completely off.
Go for it.
Like, you finish your thought.
Oh, I don't know. I was just trying to move forward. Like, okay. I wasn't sure. Like, we did Moses. I don't remember what I was saying.
I'm still mesmerized by the images and the words of all that.
Go ahead, Whit. Please help me. Words are hard.
Yeah. One thing that...
Words are hard. Words are hard.
They are true. One thing that I've just kind of, like, discovered for myself this past week, really, is just how much, like, being centered is a feeling more than anything. Like, I don't know, I guess that's kind of, words are hard.
Yeah.
But, like, all the teachings that y'all have given me, they've kind of, like, been on the surface, I guess, and then only now are they really starting to, like, sink. And anyway, I've noticed that, like, finding that space between, like, yourself and spirit and stuff, it really is just, like, a feeling, like a sinking feeling. Like, it starts for me in my stomach,
in your belly.
And that spiral is, like, me battling with, like, my other self, and then that ascension, like, when it happens, I don't know, it doesn't always, I mean,
but it happens. That's what and it talks about this in Kabbalah. It's like this, it goes up and down.
Yes. Which is what you've preached too.
Goes up and down, the triangles, y'all. You know.
I mean, it's exhausting to try to feel enlightened all the time.
You can't. I don't think you can. I mean, I think if you enlighten, you're gonna be, you're gonna be like Elijah, and you're just gonna ascend, and you're
spontaneously.
Just gonna go. Yeah, just be like, see ya. They'll be like, talk about left behind.
Before I would have been able to tap into that more. I don't know. I think. We all just kind of, like, see things differently and tap into things in different ways and have different routes to get to, like, enlightenment or spirit, whatever you want to call that feeling, I guess. But I don't know. And I think yoga's helped me a lot with that too.
And that's the thing, though. Having different views and viewpoints has helped put the pieces together, because I think that we all have a piece of the truth, and if we'll bring our pieces and connect them, we can see. So.
Yes, it's all connected. I mean, your body, your mind.
Yeah, you're doing yoga. That's absolutely. So yoga's, like, very spiritual, very spiritual.
And very hard.
They're very hard. Yes, we know.
It is very hard.
It is very hard. Yes.
Know that.
Very, very spiritual.
But you're not going to get to the good stuff unless you go through the hard stuff. I don't think. I think
that's true. Well, that's why the space between between, Egypt and, well, really the space between awakening, because the initial awakening happened in the desert, like when Moses with the burning bush. So you have that initial moment, I think, and then you have to start battling. And that when you read Exodus with that idea, think about it. I mean, if you read it, okay, Pharaoh is the ego. Pharaoh's the ego, the ruler of the big house. Pharaoh is the ego. Pharaoh is battling back and forth with Moses. Okay. All right. Moses' higher self, ego, battle. Pharaoh's doing everything that Moses is doing. All the magic, all the everything, right? And Moses is doing, magic. They're magically delicious, back and forth. Well, finally, Moses wins, and Pharaoh says, leave.
Look how much.
And then he
Pharaoh had to
changes
go
his
through.
mind because so the ego rises back up. And so Moses has to battle the ego again. Mm-hmm. And then Moses conquers the ego, but is still battling within himself with thought patterns, beliefs, habits,
Yes.
Habits.
with
That's the
appetites.
Like
Habit
you
is the
literally just
circle.
like do things and you're like, oh my God, what am I doing?
Absolutely.
Don't even think about it.
Yes,
Don't even
appetites.
think about
I
it.
need more of that. I'm not satisfied. So he's battling.
Right.
That's what's happening in the wilderness. He's battling within himself. So you have to think about the Israelites being all the different thoughts and voices and things inside Moses' head.
Yeah, the things layered onto you about other people.
Exactly. Over time. Yes. Rules,
hold on to.
beliefs.
Yes.
Yes.
And
Things.
It's very hard to get rid of that.
It
not
is.
Know, and hard to know how to even get rid of that without counseling or something. I just don't.
Well, you gotta accept that, like,
You have to.
Well, you it's part of
I
you.
don't know. You don't
We have a shadow. The moon has a dark side.
Yes.
It is part
The day has a night.
It's gonna be there.
The yin has a
It's gonna
yang.
be there, but you have to not.
You have to have it.
You do.
It's
Be
our
yourself.
humanity.
To be
It's like our
you.
human.
You
To
just
be
have
you,
to
you have to
be.
have it.
Yes.
You have to understand who you are. You have to know your shadow. You have to find the balance.
Yep. Without
Between
it, there
the
is
two.
no balance.
Without it, there is no. Yes, absolutely. And when you can do that, you see, that's why people talk about shadow work all the time. When you can really know yourself,
Is that
dark and light, good and bad, you know, when you can truly know yourself, you can truly embrace yourself, you can truly love yourself. And when you can love yourself, you can love other people, because other people become mirrors to us.
Yes.
And the people that we don't like remind us of something about us that we don't like. It has absolutely nothing to do with them and everything to do with our ego.
100%.
So if we will love ourselves and accept, hey, you know what, I've got some pretty, bad habits and I'm trying to work on, and I'll work on them. And if we are constantly working on it, we are constantly ascending, right?
Yes.
But I preach this. Jesus did shadow work when he was in the wilderness, he was in the wilderness for 40 days and 40 nights, battling Satan,
Satan.
the one who opposes God, Satan, the devil.
opponent.
The battle of the woman in Revelations 12.
Yep.
Yes.
The opponent.
And I'll tell you what else. If you'll read that with that understanding that Satan is Jesus' shadow,
Yeah.
you'll learn more about Jesus and what Jesus' weaknesses were.
Interesting.
And the significance of what he did in his life.
Yes.
Yeah.
And how he overcame.
Yes, you will see that pride was one of his major
Really.
cocoons.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And appetite.
Like physical, like eating food.
Yeah. Just physical appetite, just appetite in general. Like, yes, wanting to fill a void, wanting to fill that void.
Man, I feel you, Jesus.
Yes.
Same.
And so,
Constant.
but I want to say this. Now I'm going to go back to this sermon, talk right here, because Jesus did his shadow work, right? And he overcame Satan, the devil, the dragon, whatever you want to call it, because this is just from the sermon. He overcame, and it said the angels came and ministered to him. Well, when it got time for Jesus to go to the cross, it says that he gave Judas the bread. And when he gave Judas the bread, the devil entered him. Jesus pulled from his shadow self and influenced Judas to do something he couldn't do on his own. Sometimes you have to pull from your shadow to get shit done.
That's true.
Interesting.
And that's what he did. And poor Judas gets a bad rap, y'all.
Yeah, he does.
Judas gets a bad rap.
No,
Judas
he
was a
was.
partner with Jesus, and I've preached about that too. Judas was a partner with Jesus. He was not. I believe, looking at it metaphorically, and I talked about this too, that the 12 disciples are 12 personas of Jesus. But I digress. And that's a really deep another sermon. That's deep. A total different thing.
You're kind of stressing me out here. You're saying Jesus wasn't perfect.
Yeah. Exactly. Jesus was not perfect. Yes.
See, I've always been taught he is, and so when you start talking like that, my stomach started getting tighter. I'm like, I need to be out of here because we're going to hell now.
No.
What you're talking of.
Well,
because that's all I've been taught.
Yeah,
is he had no flaws, none. That's why he was sent.
Jesus was all human and all divine.
He mastered his flaws.
Just like you are, just like I am, just like Whit is. Just we are all human, and Jesus was the example of what we are supposed to be.
Yeah.
Now
I'm going to show you what the cross is, because I think I have a very strong revelation about the cross.
I think I might know where you're going with that.
You may. And so it's really interesting. But I want to ask you this now. If Jesus was perfect, why did the religious leaders call him a blasphemer? Blaspheming, it was the worst sin that was, punishable by death.
Right. Yeah.
So the religious people, Jesus was a sinner in their eyes. And Jesus did sin. I say sin. He broke the laws, y'all. Mm-hmm. He was an outlaw. Jesus was an outlaw. He broke the rules, broke the laws. So no, he wasn't perfect. That's false doctrine. Perfect in what way, though?
Right. It depends on what we mean by perfection.
But the church is teaching you perfect in no.
Well, they're idolizing him. I mean, they worship Jesus like they worship God.
Does it say in the Bible anywhere, Pastor Holly, that Jesus said, worship me?
No.
Jesus said, follow me.
Follow. He never said, worship me.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
Yep.
I mean, you talked about the gold statue thing or whatever.
The serpent. Yeah, the serpent. Yeah. Because he uses that example.
Yeah.
Which is a totally interesting.
And that's happened to him. He made one.
Yeah.
He'd be so mad.
Not to sound like a broken record a bit, but the Universal Christ, I would challenge anyone who's interested to listen or read that book. I've listened to the last chapter 4 times now, and I'm still not done digesting it, understanding it. But it's so deep, and it changes not just this book, but other things I've read too, and things I'm studying for myself right now. The purpose and the interpretation and understanding of what Jesus did and what salvation even means and what reconciliation and redemption even mean. Yeah. It's very different than the canned theology that many of us grew up being familiar with, and no disrespect to anyone's upbringing or path.
Not at all. Mm-mm.
It's just that it's a very different understanding now than I once had, and I can understand what you're saying, Chess. I want you to know that I do, and I don't. I do 100%. I grew up in that world too, and but the understanding that I'm coming to now, and I don't have the words for it today yet. Where's Miss Bonnie? Yet, but it's just that. Well, I mean, John said, "Behold, the Lamb of God, which takes away the sin of the world." Even that means something different than the canned theology that we all kind of just. It's a different way of understanding the same event. I'm going to stop talking now because I can't find the words. Are hard. Words are hard.
Well,
the Universal Christ.
Yes. Universal Christ by Richard Rohr. You can get it on. Do you have Audible?
Mm-hmm.
I can give it to you.
Okay.
I can share it with you. I can. I've already shared a book with you.
Oh shoot!
I can only share one.
Well,
if you've already accepted a book, I don't think you can get another one.
I asked for it for my birthday.
The Christ is the perfected part.
Correct, not the Jesus.
Not the Jesus.
Yeah, that's brought out in the book. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah. Oh, is it? Okay,
Yeah.
I can't get past chapter 2.
I think it's in that book. I'm reading.
I'm in chapter
right
2,
now, but I think it's in that
and
book.
I've been in chapter 2 for 3 months.
Yeah.
I can't get beyond it. It's
I'm
just
gonna read it again.
It's more. It blows my mind. He blows my mind.
I think when you realize that Jesus was not perfect, when I realized that he wasn't perfect, that he had the same human issues and feelings that we all did, and then some. I mean, just think about if your dad said, "Hey, I need you to sacrifice yourself for your sister," and this is how we're going to do it. We're going to nail you to a cross. We're going to beat the crap out of you. You know, imagine if that was asked of you and what emotions that you would go through. Why me? Why can't so-and-so do it? And Jesus had these exact same questions and feelings and when I realized that he was the same as me,
which is the whole point.
The whole point. Mm-hmm.
That he had temptations, that he had issues, that he had feelings. He didn't walk on this earth, I don't think, and not have human emotions, even desires.
Of course.
I mean, if we're made like him, we're talking about these chakras and everything. Well, part of our chakra is having desires and things like that. So when I realized that, which was the whole point, I realized I'm not perfect, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay.
Exactly.
Because how can I ever
perfectly imperfect?
If there's a heaven, let's say, and or if I want to go there, how can I ever get there if I don't realize that I'm not perfect and it's okay? How can I ever
let me pause right there. Yeah. I'm glad you put it that way, because I want to pause there, because the idea that heaven is something that we can't have now is
you've preached about that.
Is so frustrating.
Yes.
Because we were listening to someone the other day, and it was like Jesus said, when you go, I go prepare a place for you. And that means now, like, there's a place for you. I'm keeping a space for you, and let's meet in that space. That's heaven. Yeah. Okay. Now I'm not sure about the afterlife. I don't know what happens, but I don't believe people die. I believe our bodies do.
Sure.
But I don't believe our spirit does, and I believe that we all come together. Yes. I don't think that we are, I think that getting caught up in a doctrine that says you have to do A, B, and C in order to get to a place. Mm-hmm. And when you're doing that, you're so focused on something that's not even, that you can't see, and you're missing heaven now. Mm-hmm. And we're supposed to have heaven all the way through. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Not just after we die. We're supposed to have heaven now. That's what Jesus says. Jesus says the kingdom of heaven is now. Right. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. The kingdom of heaven is now, and you can have it now. That's
absolutely metanoia.
And when you have that awakening, when that starts to happen, and you start to move up, and you start to become aware, and you start to see things, you see God in everything and everybody.
Yes.
When you expand your mind, you expand your territory, you go beyond your understanding. You see God, and you're with God, and you're surrounded by God. How beautiful is that?
And look, we're in heaven.
Yeah. We're in heaven. We're in the upper room, which I'm going to talk about again too. You know, I mean, it's.
I want MK to talk.
Yes.
I got shamed the other day. I'm not going to say who. But I was told, worship the Creator, not the creation. And I thought about it for a while, and I said, I can't separate
the two. Exactly. They're one.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. You know, 100%. I see God in literally everything that there is. I can go out in my yard and see God. I can be driving down the road and experience God.
Everything is holy.
Everything is holy, yes.
So frustrated with that comment that I just don't even know what to do. So to like sit here and to listen to y'all, I'm like, I'm not crazy.
No. Not at all. And it's because the scriptures do say in the end times the creation, they will worship the creation more than the Creator. But I think I'm gonna have to look that up, because what's create? But
exactly, that's what I would think. Like more like idols.
That we create.
Yeah.
Yes.
Don't worship the calf.
Yeah.
Well, it's separating the creation from the Creator.
You can't focus on one thing.
The boxes, and I think of it as religion. I think of it as you know what I'm saying? That's man created. That we kind of build, which is those.
And we're just missing the point. We're like on a tangent, and then it just kind of becomes this big old thing. And it's like, no, we'll come back.
Yeah, but there's grace for all that too. We got to walk in. That's why it's all there. It's like I'm so liberated by this. I can't even describe how liberated I am by this. Like, there's nothing dividing us. There's except for us.
Oh yeah.
Our created ideas,
Yeah.
our created dogmas, our created doctrines. There's nothing creating us. There's nothing separating us.
To know that you have the ability to accept everyone and everything just as it is. You don't have to dislike or,
And everybody's on their own journey.
it's very free.
They're in they're you know, at their own place in this.
Yes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you can't judge anybody if they're still down here in the, you know, caught up in the,
Hey, at least
thorns.
they're somewhere and going.
you know.
Yeah.
That's right.
You got to give them a minute. Their bush hadn't caught fire.
Oh, I forgot about
You
that.
did not say that.
Yes.
You did not say that.
She did.
And pointing to this, you did not say that.
Oh, wow.
That string of words came out of
That string of words
That just
come out
happened.
of her mouth.
Words are not hard.
I think sometimes they just fall right out of your face. Okay. All right. So on that note,
Oh my goodness.
we're gonna.
You red. BB don't ever get red. BB's face is red.
Get your bush burning, people.
Oh me. Thank y'all for being here on the live stream and in the group. It's been great.
Yes, it's
being
been
with
great.
all of y'all.
Yes.
I like being in this space.
Yes.
Me too. Thank you for opening up the shop.
Well, yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Good.
and
You
this,
and
and we'll
Susan,
do it
thank y'all.
again, totally, 100%. Yeah, and next time bring Shelby.
Okay.
Yeah.
We miss Shelby. All right, guys. Well, this was wonderful,
Bring the dog.
and yeah, it's 12:30. Good job.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. So, if y'all have any questions, comments, or concerns, shoot us a message.
Yeah. Concerns. Yeah.
So
You
I'm
good,
concerned
Chess?
about the burning bush.
You good?
I'm good.
I'm concerned about the burning bush.
Mine was sweet,
We love y'all too. All right, guys, we love y'all, and if you need anything, we're here. So we love you guys, and we will see you next week. It will be Easter. Happy Palm Sundays today. So I'm really excited that all this is coming together during this time. It's really interesting.
It is.
So I'll see you guys next week. Bye, guys.